Frank Carson did exactly that, and he is up 1-0 on Akira Asahara.
So we're in
You
the
know what
middle.
else? I would like to congratulate Frank Carson on finishing game one before this game one finished.
Oh, okay. Big hand.
Hey, Frank. Congregation at Dawn being resolved by Tomohiro Kaji.
So he's got a Yosei, a
Yosei, Wood Elf, and an Arashi. So she's going to negate the two legends? I guess he might have the Hierarch.
He might Arashi and then play his Yosei a couple turns later.
Could say a couple facing an active Arashi. I mean, Arashi kills Yosei. Katsu thought he knew what was going on. He expected the Arashis to implode each other.
Is Arashi legendary?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why
it has a proper name.
Mori
and
was
a comma and a the.
Mori was expecting he's expecting Kaji to play the Arashi. He just started putting his in the graveyard. He's like, well, that's obviously the play. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Nothing makes you question to play more than when your opponent assumes you're going to do it.
Kaji smells a trap. He's also holding a jitte, so he might be considering playing it and swinging in and seeing what...
Seems like imploding the legends is better, though, right?
He might want to kill that Selesnya.
Is he willing to trade a token to do it? A token and a turn.
Certainly willing to trade a token for it. Turn is another issue.
Right.
So we're past the brusque portion of play. Both players are settling in to consider their options. Kaji has to decide between Arashi and Jitte, and he goes with Jitte.
Umezawa Jitte in play. Kaji puts it onto a token and just sends the token and the Hierarch in. That's interesting. So he's willing to trade the Hierarch for either of Mori's legends.
Sure.
It would die 4-4 versus 5-5, but we're going to get some Jitte counters, so
exactly.
One counter would finish off either Yosei or Arashi. A nice little play.
Now Mori has to make a decision. Does he knows there's an Arashi, or he suspects there's an Arashi in Kaji's hand. He has to decide which creature he wants to throw away. He's at 8, so
yeah, he can't really afford to just take Hierarch.
So he's no doubt thinking about the Arashi in hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't actually know the order.
Right. So
puts the Yosei in front of the Hierarch. Kaji winds up with 2 counters on the Jitte. I'm sure he'll use 1 to finish off Yosei.
Yes. Wait.
Kaji is putting, Mori is putting the tokens on the stack.
Damage results. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Damage is resolved, but he's not done thinking.
Does he have a enchantment removal or artifact removal in his hand?
I'm not sure.
What's going on? Oh, he's going to kill...
Kills his own Yosei.
What does that accomplish?
I'm not really sure. I think Kaji ends up with an extra token that way.
He kills a token, but yeah, Kaji
ends up with an extra token on his Yosei.
Extra counter.
A counter on his Jitte.
Weird. Now he can kill the Guild Mage.
Now he can kill the Guild Mage. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, I don't understand that at all.
But no, that was the game.
Oh, that was the game. Katsu Mori won that?
Yes.
He untaps, he plays North Tree, Kaji is locked down from the Yosei, and then North Tree...
So he didn't want to take the chance that
Kaji wins or Mori wins? Mori wins, right? Yeah, Katsuhiro Mori wins. Wow.
Even our spotter was a little surprised by that. No, Mori didn't want to he didn't want to leave the option of which creature Kaji killed. He wanted to make sure the Yosei died. Because he knows that Kaji's tapped out for 2 turns and he can get his, and there's nothing he's going to be able to do about Kadama of the North Tree. He's going to get in with Arashi, he's going to get in with Kadama, and that's going to be the game. I guess he just wanted to make sure Yosei died.
Wow. So it didn't matter that he did it as a response to the counters, he just knew he wanted to do it.
Yeah. And I guess maybe he wanted the counters, he wanted him to kill Selesnya Guildmage. He didn't want him to be able to gain life. I haven't done the math. Maybe it's exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. Did Kaji mess up then?
I don't think so.
I mean, Kaji used up both his jitte counters, killing a Guildmage. If he doesn't kill it, well, he's going to die. He's going to take 2 anyway. Huh. Kaji's attack was wrong, maybe?
That's possible.
I mean, Kaji...
But he's going to lose in a couple turns anyway to the flyer.
But he had the option of, instead of playing jitte, then he can instead play either Yosei or Arashi.
And then both players are locked down.
Right. Yeah, I think the jitte play was just wrong. Kaji makes it's only good if Katsu doesn't have any fatty to follow up with. Right. But when Katsu comes up with North Tree, Kaji saw it too. I mean, as soon as Katsu dropped the North Tree, Tomohiro picked up his cards. He knew that was game. Like, I think he'd already thought through the possibility that scenario might exist, decided he was going to put Mori on not having anything left in his hand, make a play that will work if Katsu's hand is mediocre, but loses if he comes up with North Tree.
Right.
Katsu showed him the North Tree. That was ball game. Katsuhiro Mori up 1-0.
And these players have played enough, they've practiced enough, they played enough in the Swiss. They didn't waste any time with their sideboards. They're already, they run boom, 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 and they're shuffling up for game 2.
What are their sideboard plans? Do they differ at all?
I didn't get a chance to see what they were sideboarding.
Well, Kaji does have the same Sideboarding Muse that
both players have
Katsumori
Sideboarding
has.
Muse. Both players have the Greater Good plan. Kaji has 3 Greater Goods.
Okay.
We've got 3 Hikori Dusk Drinkers for Mori to 1 Hikori for Kaji. We've got 2 more Yoseis in both decks. We've got an extra
Kaji's got an extra couple Caryatids.
And we've got a couple of extra Arashis over here also.
Okay, so Mori's got a Wrath and a Kadama's Reach and a Seedborn Muse that his opponent does not have.
Right, and there's no Wrath on... Kaji doesn't have Wrath available to him at all.
It's 1 times Wrath of God in Katsuhiro Mori's deck. He doesn't have any way to tutor it up, right? I mean, at least in the case of that 1 Seedborn Muse, he can go get it with Congregation at Dawn.
Congregation at Dawn is a pretty interesting card to break out this weekend.
I agree.
And it's a card, I mean, in a format, in limited, people don't even play that card all the time, and that's a format that's all about creatures.
Yeah, I guess the creatures these guys are playing are just that good. You're willing to throw a card away to set up 3 of them.
Right, it's like 3 Time of Needs. You just go get 3 Legends all over.
No, but Time of Need, yeah.
Time of Need's a sorcerer. They're essentially the same speed.
そしたら嵐で直すからいいよ。え？そしたら嵐でできるよ。直される。
Players are laughing about their match.
そっちかで、そっちの
Don't know
ワー
what
ド
they're
だ。
saying.
ワードだったら負けた。
If anyone out
Get
there
used to
speaks
it.
Japanese, please.
If anyone out there speaks Japanese, they're probably listening to the Japanese commentary. We have Koshiro Maki and Masashiro Kuroda in the booth.
How lucky.
Yeah, doing the Japanese commentary. That's got to be good.
So did you tell the story about Masashiro Kuroda in the podcast with Tsuyoshi Fujita?
No.
So Tsuyoshi Fujita and with Olivia Ruel. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did. That's where I did tell.
Where Kuroda is just, he's probably one of my favorite players on the Pro Tour. He's just the sweetest guy in the world. He's just everyone who meets him falls under his spell. I mean, he's really charming and just wonderful. And he's become good friends with Olivia Ruel over the years. And
they're good enough friends that Olivier flew out to Japan for a month in between. He went to first a Grand Prix and then a Pro Tour and just stayed with Masashiro Kuroda for the month in between.
Right, and his family. And I think, was it the last round or the second to last round of the tournament?
I think there were 3 rounds left.
They got paired, and Kuroda smashed Olivier. And
Oh,
then,
Katsu contemplating a mulligan.
and then conceded to him because he knew that Olivier was in the hunt for the Player of the Year race, and they were both really essentially out of the money at that point. I mean,
Yeah, Olivier thought that if he won out, he could get to the edge of the money and then top 64. Both players felt like they needed to go 3 or 4-0 in order to win a couple of dollars.
Right.
For Kuroda, it's just a couple of dollars. For Olivier Ruel, it's a couple of dollars and a pro point that could be the difference between being Player of the Year and not. So Kuroda wins the match, effectively has lethal damage on the stack in the second game, and concedes.
Yeah, and that was just remarkable.
It's just like,
Olivier,
this means so much more to you than it does to me. You can have the win.
Even though Kuroda doesn't get to play in very many pro tours,
Yeah, Olivier
he
was
doesn't
touched.
travel outside. Olivier was in tears. He was so moved by it. It was really it was one of the sweetest things I heard this weekend. It was a great story. All right, we're underway.
Katsu's got a 6-card hand. Looks like he's going to keep this one. Did you get a look at the 7 cards that he cashed in? Did he keep no lands? He kept 0 lands,
He
didn't
may
he?
have kept the Selesnya Sanctuary.
Wow.
Yeah, he passed the turn with no play.
Is that a Sanctuary in play
No,
now?
that's a
Wow. He kept Sanctuary and no other
and
land.
then drew into Temple Garden.
Huh. Scary.
And we have an active Selesnya Guildmage on the table. Temple Garden is back in play.
それだから、
6枚。
6枚。
6。
終わりか。
Wow. Look at Maury's hand. He's got
Right.
2 Jittes, double, or maybe even triple Guildmage in hand. He just played a Jitte.
SNK Arcbound is asking in the forums where the multimedia button is so we can find those old webcasts. Can't find it anywhere on the World's pages. The problem is it's not on the World's pages, it's part of the Hall of Fame package. So if you click the Hall of Fame logo, that'll take you to this amazing Hall of Fame website. I think it's one of the best things we've added to our website in years. It's got detailed information on each player, and there's a multimedia section that is full of old coverage of events that those Hall of Fame players were in. So go to the Hall of Fame page. That's where you can find the multimedia page with all those old webcasts.
完封 ?1。
Maury gets in for, Kaji gets in for 7 this turn. He activates the pump ability of the Selesnya Guildmage. He seed sparked Maury's Jitte at the end of the turn, so he now has 2 1/1s. So he's getting in right now for 7 a turn.
これな。
Maury's quickly down to 9. And there's the 1 Rathagod. There it was. Is that a greater good? Yes, it is. Here's Yosei. And we've got a greater good next turn, so we'll see how this sideboard plan works, I think, in 1 turn. There's a Guildmage from Maury. He's got a couple of those in his hand. He's got 2 more, actually. And a Seed Spark, so we're only going to really get 1 look at Greater Good in action. And actually, we may not. I mean, Maury's at 7. What am I thinking? He may not. He's certainly not going to want to sacrifice his Yosei. He wants to get in for 2. He wants to get in twice. And it's a Jitte from Maury.
Maury's, you think he can actually recover from keeping a one land hand with the land he can't even play? He gets hit by Yosei, falls down to 2. There's North Tree. He's sort of almost, cannot stabilize. Tomohiro Kaji evens this match 1 game apiece.
So you saw the Selesnya Sanctuary, saw 3 Selesnya Guildmages, saw 2 Jittes in his hand, and thought if I just draw 1 land, I can turn my entire hand on.
Right. Yeah, he's probably a reasonable keeper for 6 cards, but He missed one land drop,
and he was on the draw. So he had
yeah, so he gets one card off the top before he even risks missing a land drop.
But then he missed
Doesn't
that
sound
land
crazy, but Kaji came out fast enough that Mori couldn't recover.
Richard Hohen actually won a match this weekend where he was on the play and mulliganed to, I believe, 5 or 6. He mulliganed to 6 and kept a no-land hand on the play. In extended, playing Blue-Green Madness.
Oh, wow.
He kept his hand. He passed the turn. His opponent was like, what? And then on the next turn, he drew island, careful study, 2 basking Nicolas, and went to town.
Last time we were here in Yokohama, Mark Lapine did that, playing for top 8 in the last round.
It's a pretty famous match.
Yeah, he's playing for top 8 in the last round, and I think he mulligans once, and then he looks at his opponent and he says, go. And his opponent's like, no. There's a little bit of a language issue there. His opponent's like, but you won the roll. You play first. And Lapine's like, I know, go. It's like, no, you play first. It's like, I don't have any land. Go.
But he had kept. He
was playing
pro red.
He was playing against a Sly deck, the red beatdown deck in the format, and his hand was Hydroblast, Sea Sprite. So he's like, I have Hydroblast, Sea Sprite, 1 island anytime in the first 3 turns my hand on. Anyway, here we are now checking in on the other semifinal match. There's a good look at Frank Karsten. Frank won a marathon quarterfinal match. Tough match against Ding Liang. He's running a green-white greater good deck. Green-white-blue, it's got a gifts engine. He can set up a gifts lock. He can set up greater good. He's got all these dragons that do all these things with Goryo's Vengeance and greater good. He is playing against Akira Asahara, who's got an Enduring Ideal deck that he's brought into battle. Akira Asahara, by the way, I hope we need to get a shot of him on the screen. There you get a good look at him. Look at the shirt. Look at the tie. Does it remind you of anything? Does it remind you of anyone? Akira Asahara went to the coverage last night. He went to Sideboard reporter Kata Moore, who was telling me this story. He's like, show me the web coverage from the 2000 World Championships. And Kate's like, no, he's like, show me the web coverage. And Kate's like, all right, no. The archives, the 2000 Worlds coverage. I want to see what John Finkel looked like when he won the World Championship. He looked at the coverage. He looked at that trophy shot with John Finkel with the blue shirt and the tie, and he was like, that's what I'm going to wear tomorrow. He's dressed to look like John Finkel.
He said, I don't think I can win my quarterfinal matchup, but maybe if I look like John Finkel.
No, I think he said maybe if I was Finkel, I could win it.
If I was Finkel, I could win it. So he tried to become Finkel. And he said that if he wins this World Championship, he's going to emulate that trophy shot to honor John and John's achievements in Magic.
Spectacular.
Japanese seemed very struck by the Hall of Fame this weekend.
They really did. They really seemed very into it.
10 years from now, they're all going to be in it. So. So we have an Ivory Mask in play on Asahara's side of the table. Is that what that is?
Does that mean, does it turn off Kakusho?
It turns off, yes, it does, and it also turns off.
Does it turn off Yosei?
Turns off Cranial Extraction. They both target player, yes.
Yosei targets a player. Kakusho targets a player. Cranial Extraction targets a player. Ivory Mask does seem pretty relevant here. So Carson pretty much has to attack now?
Well, he can still, if Asahara, let's look at Asahara's sideboard, because I'm not sure what he would have brought in. He has Pyroclasms, Privileged Position, Mana Leak, 4 Defense Grid, 1 Ivory Mask, 1 Genju of the Realm. So...
I know that Carson is expecting to be playing against Mana Leak now.
Can you tap it for any color if I have this in play with no counter?
Oh, Felwar Stone, Tendo Ice Bridge interaction. I don't know what this answer is either. Can you tap Tendo Ice? Does Tendo Ice Bridge fire up your opponent's Felwar Stone even when it doesn't have a counter?
I believe you can tap it. Any color it could potentially produce.
All right.
I believe.
Does Reflecting Pool fire it up?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Really? Reflecting Pool will turn Felwar Stone Rainbow. I did not know that. Interesting.
It's too bad Ivory Mask doesn't say players can't be the target of spells or abilities, because you'd be able to shut off gifts ungiven. But it's not
that good.
It's not that good. Well, Sahara's got a handful of Faith's Fetters. He's got the Enduring Ideal. He's also got the Genju of the Realm, which will give him a way to attack.
Okay.
Pray, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, does Gift say target player has to do the split?
I think you can play on in the meantime.
Does Gift actually target? Oh my gosh.
The opponent has to do the split? Wow. Ivory Mask shuts off everything.
Response.
Target opponent. Look at that.
Wow. Akira Asahara, ladies and gentlemen.
In his John Finkel wear. Maybe we get a line of John Finkel clothing for aspiring Magic players.
As long as it's the late
As
Finkel.
long as it's 2,000 and above. Got Face Fetters on Ivory top. Face Fetters on Sensei's Divining top.
Trying to.
Yeah, it's not going to
I expect he's going to flip it on the top. Karsten's hand has Yosei, Extraction. Looks like another Yosei. He's got a Greater Good on top.